Hello there guys, Francis Gray here, and today I've got a new model kit to show you all. This is the classic movie monster, the Wolfman, made famous by Universal Studios back in the day when they were all black and white. This model kit was originally produced by a company called Aurora. They are classed as the classic kits. Quite a lot of people got into the hobby through these monster models. They did others as well, like the Creature from Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy, etc. So quite a lot of people have fond memories of these kits. This was a private commission. I was asked to build this and a few other Aurora kits for a client. This model kit is a styrene kit, and it measures 8.5 inches tall by 5 inches wide, and that's measuring from elbow to elbow. Quite tricky and fiddly to put together in some parts, but it was an enjoyable kit. I'll get into that in more detail. So obviously the main model itself just shows the Wolfman in a classic upright attacking pose. The base is obviously a rock base with just the nameplate, the Wolfman. Accessories, you get a skull, you get a rat down here, and then you get a rat here, and then the rest of it is just blank at the back. Now, when I originally started to build this, my first idea was make it look a little bit more modern day and make his trousers like Wrangler jeans. But the problem with that is he has like a rope belt. Now I know you could still say he has a rope belt, but in today's society, it doesn't really make sense why you would just have a bit of rope for a belt, where it comes across more like a pauper or a peasant back in like medieval times, like all leading maybe up to like Victorian times maybe. So I know I could have sculpted over that, just left this part off and then just sculpted around and made fashioned a belt, and it would have worked. But seeing as all the other monsters that I've built for the client have been set in a certain, like a medieval kind of timeline, then I suppose it would suit better to actually keep the Wolfman the same, so he would fit with his fellow cursed creatures. Lovely kit to put together, but it is quite fiddly. The main parts that I had problems with, now this skull down here, now that had a really bad seam running right across the top of the dome of the skull, which stood out like a sore thumb, stood out a mile long. So what I had to do there was basically glue the two parts of the skull together, sand it down as much as possible, and then I went over with Aves epoxy modelling clay, left that to harden, and then smoothed that over with a nail file, and then obviously grey primed, and then undercoated, and then painted. The rats, they went together no problem. Usually with like little side accessories, they tend to, especially when it's older kit like this, they do tend to warp, or they weren't cast all that brilliantly and they don't want to line up. But I didn't really have no problems with these rats. The rats went together really easy. They were just two simple parts glued together, and then just painted. So I was happy about that. The base is obviously just a rock base. I added like this moss everywhere, mainly accumulated down here and on the bottom, and all the little nooks and crannies and ridges of the actual base. And the reason why that is, I wanted to come across like he's in the wild, like moorland, or he's like like miles away from anywhere else. So in order to, he can hunt, so to speak, out in the wilds. So basically how I created the moss was just basic scenic grass scatter that's normally used to make like grassy hills and model railways. Obviously I did PVA glue down first to the areas I wanted to stick, scattered that on, left it dry, and then once dried I went over it with some gloss varnish, which gives it like a wet moist look, so it mimics moss beautifully. But before you do that, it's always a good idea to shake off the excess, or carefully brush it off with a soft tip brush. And then I added some like scenic moss to the back there, because obviously it would be a little bit overgrown and you know, collective in amongst all the little nooks and crannies of the moss of the rock. Sorry. So getting to the actual fare of the Wolfman. Now the main problems with the Wolfman kit himself is I had a bit of problem with his leg, with his ankle here. Basically this back part and this front part didn't want to line up well. Now the idea is this connects to this and then this connects lower down to this, so it's bridged via 3 overlapping like segments of plastic. Now in theory that was a good idea, but unfortunately with this kit this part was more wider than this part and it would have stuck out, and if I had Abe's epoxied over that, he'd have looked like he had like fat ankles kind of a thing. So what I had to do was I had to match that further up, take a little bit off the top so it fit inside the leg, so that fits that better. This then gets glued on and attached to that, and then there was like a little missing section here, which I basically just put some Abe's epoxy modelling clay in there, and then sculpted more fair, made it match as best as I could, and then obviously just grey prime it and paint it all the same colour. So you can't really tell now unless you actually get told that it's there. I had to do the same with this ankle as well. So it all turned out alright. And with the torso, I kept the figure separated in 2 halves for as long as possible. The main reason why is because I wanted to have easy access to dry brushing all the fur on the torso. Now if I glued him in advance and he only had an undercoat, when it comes to dry brushing it would have been really hard to get inside the trousers, the pants area, to actually dry brush all the hairs on there. So it was easier just to do it in 2 sections, and then once done then glue it together. Had a little bit of problem with these seam lines here. There's a seam line connecting the arm there and a seam line connecting the arm there, and it overlaps on the back as well. It just seemed that it didn't want to go. Basically I had to glue it the best I could, and then use some Aves again, wrap it round, mush it in, and then sculpt extra hairs. Once painted you can't really tell, just like the ankle, unless I tell you about it. You don't really know. But if you don't use Aves epoxy on this kit, it would stand out a mile. There was some quite bad seam lines connecting the torso here and here. Now the problem with that is usually you file down the seams, but obviously if you file too much you're taking away, or you're eroding away, quite a lot of the detail of the fur. So obviously that's going to stand out like a sore thumb. So same again, a little bit of Aves going over the seam and then just sculpt some extra fur, and you can't tell at all. Getting to the face, I had a little bit of problem matching the back part of the head to the front part of the head, and making it like flow naturally. You can still tell there's a seam line there if you go looking, but for the most part, yeah, it was a little bit tricky, but it did turn out alright. Literally I just glued it, got a really thin nail file, and then just made like little skewer grooves over the top, smoothed it down as much as possible, but not eroding the fair detail, and then just went over with a couple of little tiny strands of Aves epoxy, and then just lined them up here, there, and everywhere. So it just gives the illusion that it's hair, you know, like not combed back, but you know what I mean. But obviously, you know, hides that nasty seam line. I decided to paint him like quite bloody around the mouth, fingernails, hands, and a bit of it on his chin and dripping down onto his chest. Purely, I just wanted to make him look like he had recently found something on this, on the moors, and basically slaughtered it and killed it, and now he's looking for something else to hunt and kill. So yeah, so it's just a nice little detail. I'll see if I can zoom in and show you that. So as you can tell there, it's basically just red acrylic paint painted over, left to dry, and then gloss varnished over it. Also gloss varnished over the eyes as well to give them a wet look. So yeah, I thought it turned out rather nice. I wonder if you can see on the fingers as well. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but he's got them on his fingers as well. Yeah, had a lot of fun detailing the trousers, or the pauper trousers as I like to call them. So as you can see there, they're all weathered and ripped and torn, and yeah. If you're doing a werewolf, it's always a good idea to have ripped clothes. Gets across a rough transition, or transformation, sorry. So yeah, there you go guys. Hope you enjoyed this quick look at. Please don't forget to click the like button and share on Facebook and Twitter, because it helps new people find my channel, which I'm always appreciative of. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and check out my older videos for more model kit builds and statue reviews, etc. And nothing else to say but thank you for watching, and see you next time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.